y'all. Here's up to the people, Rocky. You gonna say what's up to the ladies? You got it. You gonna type it? You gonna type it, Rocky? You don't give a fuck, do you? You don't give a fuck, do you, Rocky? Say what's up to the people, man. You boring. What's up, everybody? Me and Rocky over here chilling. He'll be asleep in a few minutes. He gotta take a nap. I think his last nap tired him out. So I think Rocky's last nap tired him out. So it's almost time for him to take another nap so he can recover from his previous nap. You dig? Welcome, everybody. Welcome. Man, one thing I like about I'm gonna get to the story. We're gonna start a few minutes in, and I'm not gonna jump right into it. Today we're gonna talk about this. I was going through. Yesterday was the so-called hip hop anniversary, but I was going through my bookmarks on Twitter because I be bookmarking shit, saying one day I'm gonna come back to it. So today, I just happened to be scrolling through my bookmarks, and I saw a bookmark from the man who took this photo right here of Kool Herc and Bambaataa, and he tells the story behind that photo, how it was supposed to be more than just those three in the photo. So we're gonna play that. We're gonna play that video. We're gonna play video of Kool Herc himself saying where he learned from, and then we're gonna just we talked about this on Twitter Space yesterday. I was gonna upload that Twitter Space. I still might one day, but I was like, I want to come to YouTube and talk to YouTube fresh because I have some additional thoughts more than what I said yesterday on Twitter Space. So we're going to talk about that. In the meantime, welcome chat room. Thank y'all for joining. Lady Hotep, Leto L. Brook, Sinister. Thank y'all for joining. But before we get into it, man, a couple of nights ago, we had a great police chase on Sunday night here in LA. You know, LA, we always got them police chases on deck. And I think these was two niggas. These motherfuckers jacked a car. Nigga, they jacked a milk truck.
Breaking news tonight, and that very dark shot you see is, looks like a stopping.
I love when they get away.
But
I like watching police chases anyway.
Superiority because you're in
when they get away, man, that's the best shit ever.
Yeah,
watch this shit right here. We're going to start on top of it. Look.
They're going to try to carjack that truck.
Watch this shit. This was the other night in L.A. These motherfuckers were going the wrong way on the freeway.
Police are choosing to obviously stay, and back off at this point rather than move in when they're
bad. Watch what they do right here.
When they're jumping out of the vehicle.
Watch what they did right here. This is some L.A. shit right here.
Now they're on the going off the freeway. It looks like an on-ramp. It's tough to know precisely what exit they're on. It looks like, is it that left front tire that's shredded? Yeah, front left tire is shredded. We don't know whether they hit a spike strip from earlier.
This nigga got the fuck up out the truck.
Wow. Driver of that 18-wheeler.
These motherfuckers
jumped out of his truck.
18-wheeler, y'all. Hey, bro.
Some type.
Downtown. The freeway. New Orleans, Houston. Up, nigga. Y'all all got the jack. There we go. I don't know what the hell happened. We back. These niggas got out. Niggas went under a freeway, got the fuck out, and dipped. And right here, they shook the police. So another entertaining night of police chases in L.A. These niggas stole an 18-wheeler, jacked a few cars, and got away. I love when the goddamn police look stupid on national TV. That should be feeling good. Well, anyway, let's get into it. Oh, and also, Cameron. If y'all heard that story about Cameron and Omar Gooding, this dude Cameron, the rapper, booked Omar Gooding Jr. for a movie, only to film him behind scenes and keep the footage for a fake movie and troll him with fake movie scenes. That was fucking amazing. Troll level 1000. Salute to that level of trolling. On the other level of trolling, Gilbert Arenas is like a hoe for getting Kwame Brown's channel knocked away. I know I don't agree with what Kwame Brown say sometimes, but Gilbert, you a hoe for doing that. But your name is Gilbert, so what else can I expect? Anyway, let's get into it. Let's get into it. Chat room, be nice. This nigga Bismarck T, stop, calm down, brother, calm down. You niggas are stupid. All right. YouTube is messing with the stream. It's already kicked me off one time. I've been getting a lot of people telling me they're not getting the notifications. I got a lot of comments yesterday on IG and on Twitter. People didn't even know I did a video yesterday. So I need y'all's help again to share. Please like, please share. And when the video's over, if you decide to leave early, come back later on today and please leave a comment to push it in the algorithm because YouTube is back on that bullshit again. So yeah. So hip-hop's original sin. Hip-hop's fake birthday. Yesterday, they again celebrated birthday number, this what they say 52 for hip-hop. And when I was in Twitter Spaces yesterday, one of the brothers I was in there, he comes in this chat too. He was Sage. He said, does any other genre of music have a birthday? And that was a very good question. What other genre celebrates a birthday? And if no other genre has a birthday that it celebrates, even though we can name the date, Papa's Got a Brand New Brag drop for funk. We can name the date, the Soul Train song dropped from the Sound of Philadelphia in 1973. We can name the date for disco. We can name the date for the Love Unlimited Orchestra for disco. We can name dates for that stuff, but even though you can name those dates, you still don't celebrate birthdays. You can name the date Tina Bell dropped her first grunge album, I'm sure. If you looked it up for grunge, I'm sure, you can name the date for a lot of things, but you don't do it. But for somehow, some way, hip hop has a birthday. And in this so quote unquote birthday, they have 3 people that came along at different times as the father. Africa Bambaataa, who came along a little later. Kool Herc, who admits he was going to these parties as a teenager, and that was just his turn to throw the party. And Grandmaster Flash, who got his name basically from Grandmaster Flowers, the original hip-hop DJ. We got to ask these questions. And you may be in there saying, oh, DeWine, you talked about this before. Yes, I have talked about this topic before, and I can promise you on this channel, I will continue to talk about it because this is an onion that keeps getting peeled back, and we got to keep these discussions regularly. This isn't me trying to own a thought and saying, hey, you got to go listen to my show 2 weeks ago. No, we want to keep talking about it because this is a lie that keeps going on. And the way the Black American has gotten written out of history is through the lie of omission, the quote unquote white lie of omission is the lie that continues to undercut our culture. And on this channel, even though I crack jokes and talk shit and read cards, My ultimate goal is to preserve our culture, and that's more important. That's a bigger mission than my selfish things. I'm not here. There's no money in preserving the culture. That's a task of the heart. You know, this is a task that means I'm not going to be talking about the trending topics of the day sometimes, which then keeps my channel out of certain algorithms. This is a task that puts me up against big money. Rock Nation is big money. They got a lot of money to waste on Fat Joe to go out there and tell these lies. UMG, Sony, these white corporations have a strong interest in keeping the black face of music off of music. I'm up against a lot of shit. But I don't give a fuck. I don't ask for any sympathy. I don't ask for none of that. I don't ask for any extra attention. Because none of that shit matters. The only thing that matters is this message gets out there. And it gets out there specifically and especially to Black Americans. I'm not doing this to convert people over to black, to saying, hey, you need to like us. Because I'm not one of them dear white people kind of niggas. I just want to be heard. I just want you to listen to us. No one pays attention to us. We just need to be seen. Shut the fuck up. The purpose of this is to raise the consciousness and the vibration of our people. Because the more of us that knows this, that raises our group esteem. The more of us that knows this, the more y'all can tell your kids, your nephews, your nieces, the more y'all can spread the word. That's the purpose of this. So again, if you don't like this topic, or if you think I talk about this topic too much, I'm about to say something else. Y'all saw the F word forming in my mouth. I'm gonna say this. Just come back to a different topic. Motherfucker. So, let's do this. Let's do this. So when it comes down to it, somebody say if they really gave Kool Herc credit, he'd have a hell of a title. It's not about him being rich. Not about Kool Herc being rich. It's about putting out there in the lexicon, Black Americans didn't create shit. That's what it's about. It's about putting into the mass consciousness a different face for Black creations. They can't do. Hip hop is the one thing they ignored. Funk, act like funk doesn't exist. Disco, I saw some shit today. Brooke tagged me in on Instagram with some white boy saying that disco comes from France. So we have an all-out assault on our history and our memory. So it's on us that are of the culture to push this shit out there and to keep it out there. And I'm going to start off with that video that I got inboxed earlier. Messages. Not now. Hell no, I don't want no goddamn desktop notifications on no goddamn Instagram. Hell no. Okay. And salute to Brooke for sending me this. Here it is. Watch this. This is what we're up against.
Studio 54 was only open 33 months. Right. But we've held this format of music up on a pedestal, almost like a Marilyn Monroe who died early or a James Dean who died early. So disco is this
capsule.
Yes, and it's become this...
romanticized a little bit, right?
Yes, so much so that it comes around every 7 years. Look at it now.
It's back.
In a major way.
Right.
It was not invented here. It came from France. And it came primarily from the gay community that ushered it into the States. It was only after Casablanca signed a record when they were Oasis Records, pre-Casablanca, they were virtually on the edge of going out of business. Somebody turned Neil Bogart onto this record by a woman by the name of Donna Summer, recorded the record in Germany. A producer found her, and he cut this record called Love to Love You Baby, which at the time was very controversial because it emanated the sounds of a woman having an orgasm. The record also was ridiculously long, but it did incredibly well in Europe. This company, Oasis Records, took a shot and they signed.
So that's what he's trying to say. That's what he's trying to say. I missed that first part of here though. Let me go back.
And American radio took. People think it lasted forever.
76, 79?
Yeah, studio 54.
He says 76 to 79 is when discos lasted. When the Sound of Philadelphia dropped at 73. See, the thing is, disco between 73 and 76 was black. The reason why he chose 76 is not because of Donna Summer. Because 76 was the year the Bee Gees decided to sound like the Stylistics and do disco music. The Bee Gees were a defunct group, and I love the Bee Gees, so this isn't to talk shit about them. But when they were in the early 70s, they tried to sign the Beatles, they tried to sign the Rolling Stones. Nobody liked them. I got this information off the Beatles. Off the Bee Gees documentary. The Bee Gees were hella inspired by the Stylistics, and that's when they went to those high-pitched voice. And then when the Bee Gees decided to start sounding like the Stylistics, and then came out with more than a woman to me. That's when disco went white. And that's when white people started paying attention to it in Studio 54. Do y'all know that Chic, the reason why they wrote the song Le Freak, it's because black people weren't allowed in Studio 54 unless he was Michael Jackson. So this song right here. Freak out. You freak. Say chic. Freak out. Underneath Freak Out, they go, fuck Studio 54. Freak out. And that's according to a documentary from Nile Rodgers. That song was saying basically, fuck Studio 54. Because y'all didn't want to let us in. And then that song dropped. It becomes a huge thing. Then all of a sudden, they get in Studio 54. No, disco did not last from 76 to 79. Started in the early 70s in the ghetto of Black America. And because it has a faster tempo, gay folks, y'all tend to like faster music. I don't know why. Y'all adapted to it. And because disco was bringing white, black, gay, and everybody together, they killed it. They killed it. And then it rebirthed life through the form of house music. House music and techno, EDM, continued the life breath of disco. Donna Summer definitely was the biggest act in disco. But actually what saved Casablanca, that really did blow Casablanca up. But what really saved Casablanca was Parliament Funkadelic. Casablanca decided to invest in funk and disco. And Casablanca played a major part in funk thriving along with disco. But the industry, when the industry wanted to kill disco, Casablanca didn't want to play along. I'm looking for the book. Casablanca didn't really want to play along when they wanted to kill disco. So what they did was, the owner of Casablanca, the industry came together and basically got him up out of music. And then he ended up dying in 1983 over illnesses. Music Hitman, you can find that in this book. about how they targeted Casablanca Records for pushing disco and funk. Now, 50 years later, all the gays want to come out, and there's a documentary right now that you can find on I think it's on Netflix or Prime, where they talk about they're redefining disco in this moment right now. The gay community is taking disco and saying it's their music. The same gay people that turn a blind eye when black people get fucked up are now claiming music that we created, that our gay population happens to like. Now they're saying it's for all gay people. No, that's some shit for the gay black people to dance to and shake their little ass hips too. Niggas don't want to. We ain't got no issues with gay people, but straight folks and gay people live two separate lives. We got the funk for the niggas, and for the dudes that like a little sugar in they tank. No disrespect, they got some disco to party to, some house to party to. And let them party away. Let them party away. One of my homegirls this past Sunday had a birthday shindig at the Abbey in West Hollywood. And she invited me, and I was like, yeah, nah. I ain't partying on Santa Monica Boulevard, nah. I ain't got no issues with them, but I believe in you got your space, I got my space. And I'm not going to come up in your space. I just could imagine how the bathroom smelled of them. I ain't going to say nothing. That got my stomach turned up. But anyway, you see the assault we're under as black people when it comes to disco. You see the assault we're under when it comes to lowriding. Do you know how many black people don't even understand the black origins of lowriding? And I'm not even a lowrider. So when I was scrolling through my Twitter bookmarks, it was this video right here. I want to play this video for y'all on how they distorted the truth about the founding fathers of hip hop. And then we're going to go through and play some stuff that Kool Herc said himself, proving that he ain't start shit. All right? So let's start this shit. Let's watch again.
Full-blown photo shoot, right? And then when we're done, TC Islam, bless his heart, he's no longer with us. He comes in, he says, hey man, I got to get this one picture. Let me get this one picture. I'm working on something for this guy. And I'm not saying his name. So y'all know who I'm talking about. We're going to do this picture. And I want him in the middle. This guy, right? I want him in the middle. And so they took this picture and everybody was like, okay, cool. A few months later, the Source magazine comes out with this picture, that picture. And it says the founding fathers of hip hop. And we were all like, huh? And then for some strange reason, man, we all just said, well, man, whatever.
Yeah. Not
realizing what the intention was with that article. Now,
right there, and I'm not about to pounce on Grandmaster DXT, but that right there is for you people that come up in my chat and be like, Dewan, why don't you just leave it alone, man? We all know black people started this, man. Just let it go. This is the cost of letting things go. You let a little lie germinate, and it becomes a truth in 20 years. This is why I don't let things go. You already said. Our job is to learn from the past. I learned from this brother when he says this. This is when you're in these kind of moments, those moments aren't the time to let it go. Those moments are the time to speak up so that these things don't fester and 20 years later they become the truth. So it's not about criticizing them. It's about saying, yo, that's where the mistake was made. So I'm the next generation. Us that are the next generation, we cannot allow these mistakes to be made. We got to address them up front.
Realizing what the intention was with that article. Now, I'm not taking anything from any of those two people that's on the cover of that, because they did do their thing. But the history has to be corrected. And they're not first tier.
Okay.
They're second tier.
So Herc?
I spoke to Herc.
Okay.
And I asked Herc, who would be, if it was 3, because there's more than that.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? We have to acknowledge the DJ culture, and we try to pull it into the whole hip hop story, which causes you to sever your umbilical to the origin of your own cultural expressions, and you disconnect from the process, the stream that's going down where these things are growing. There's a DJ John Brown who Herc and Smokey say inspired them. No one knows her
DJ
name.
John Brown. Right. From where? What borough?
He's in the Bronx.
In the Bronx.
Yeah, he used to do parties on 161st Street at the Hotel Concord Plaza, up on the plaza on 161st Street. Yeah, and the tunnel. It's a club called the Tunnel in the Bronx.
And he inspired Kool Herc.
Both of them say that, you know, they was inspired by him too. Like, they got stuff from him, but his name is gone. Grandmaster Flowers in 1967 opened for James Brown at Yankee Stadium.
In 1967.
Wow. 1967.
Is Grandmaster Flowers
they because of the nomenclature issue.
Okay.
He's hip, he's disco.
So they call him disco, right?
Right.
Okay.
Right. So we're gonna deal with that.
Let's do it.
They call him disco, but disco as a genre of music in 1967 wasn't even out yet. Disco comes from discotheque. Disco is what they call a party. We're gonna go to the disco. That was just a party. It wasn't a style of music yet at that time. Disco as a style of music didn't come until 1973. There was no even disco music in 67.
Yeah, so you know, there's this whole thing where you sever the umbilical over these terminology that got construed by people not doing their homework.
And I've heard people tell me that he ran into the same thing I've run into with people. When you hear things like Disco King Mario, people are like, well, no, they was DJing disco music. Disco music wasn't around. Funk was. See, in 1967, funk had just started. James Brown dropped Papa's Got a Brand New Bag. Sly and the Family Stone had just dropped. Yeah, funk was around. Funk. Where did I hear that name before? Oh, the genre of music that Kool Herc and all the other goddamn hip hop DJs use. They tried to call him a disco DJ when disco wasn't even disco was years from being invented, man. That's the first disco song. That's disco song 1A, and this disco song 1B. And that's only 1A because it technically dropped a little bit before this one. That's 1973 by the 3 Degrees. When disco fully formed, when all the components, Barry White's string arrangement, the highs from the chord changes that Barry White introduced, to the grooves that Gamblin' Huff introduced, to the 4 on the Floor by Earl Young. When disco really got the components of disco came into place right there. Earl Young laying 4 on the Floor. And Earl Young is still alive, by the way. We need to be celebrating him. Laying 4 on the floor, open hi-hat on the end note. That's all house music is. Every house beat is this beat. Every house song is that beat. open hi-hat, air, foundation on a kick, mid-tones on a snare. That didn't come until way after Grandmaster Flowers. So Grandmaster Flowers saying he was DJing disco is a lie, because disco wasn't invented yet. And I don't have to be born at that time to know that, because I know when disco was invented. And if you tell me he was playing disco in 1967, you're lying. And listen to this video right here by the brother DJ Faze. I bookmarked all these a few months ago.
Talk about the top of the morning, top of the morning, top of the morning, doing the cuts, top of the morning. Hey, I have to. No. The merry-go-round has been in existence way before Herc, because what we were doing, we were taking that little piece of they talk about the cuts and the creator, whatever, doing the cuts and the merry-go-round and everything. No, the merry-go-round has been in existence way before Herc, because what we were doing, we were taking that little piece of the record and making it go play over and over again. That's it. Now, for those people that say they know what the merry-go-round is, anybody will tell you that the merry-go-round was not cuts. You couldn't take a record like Mickey Mouse Club and do the merry-go-round. Herc was not going to do that, because until today, everybody knows that Herc was not fast at getting one record to the next record or going to. He wasn't fast doing that. He wasn't spinning back or picking up the needle. He wasn't doing that. They talk about the cuts and the creator, whatever.
That's doing my brother DJ Faze. And then this is Kool Herc himself.
That I used to go to.
This is Herc himself.
That I used to go to these parties and see DJs playing and hear the crowd griping about why don't he have that record? Why did he take that record off right there? And I'm hearing this while I'm dancing. I like to dance. So with that gripe from the audience, I took that behind the turntable. And guys like John Brown used to play at a place called the Tunnel in the Bronx at the Concourse Plaza Hotel in the Grand Concourse on 161st Street. I had to go to high school with him, man. He used to party there. So the gangs came in and kind of shut it down. So what I did, I used a few of those records I used to party to, along with records that I bought over the years, and I started to give like a speakeasy party. Come to the West Side, 1520 Cedric Avenue. Remember?
You heard what he just said? He would go to DJ John Brown's parties, but the gangs would break them up. And he saw John Brown cutting these records.
See DJs playing and hear the crowd griping about why don't he have that record? Why did he take that record off right there? And I'm hearing this while I'm dancing. I like to
listening to the audience. That's what anybody that's a good performer does. Herc was listening to the audience at a John Brown party and took what they were saying in the audience at a party he was at and did his own version of it. But he didn't start anything up.
To dance. So with that
was his words. Let's look at this.
And then of course, you know the cheat code was James Brown.
Well, that's my man. Yeah. That's the father.
Like Sex Machine.
That's the father.
Sex Machine.
The brother, where I get that first repertoire records that I play is from, I heard Sex Machine when it was a place called the Rat Hole over on 3rd Avenue.
Yeah. Was that a nice place to go, man?
Hey,
you call your club the Rat Hole.
Yeah,
shit.
I don't know how many people are in there.
Yeah, oh yeah. And then from the Tunnel over 161st Street,
right.
He used to go to school with me after this. My name was John Brown, and this is where, Just Begun.
Jimmy Castor.
Jimmy Castor.
So did you make that? Did you discover that?
I played more. I played on more of it.
Right.
From a lineup from John Brown.
Oh, that's a great record.
And I used to play this one, if you want to get into something, and a few other ones. And that was at the tunnel.
Right.
On 161st Street.
The original tunnel.
The original tunnel.
Right.
That was 2 times Kool Herc said that he was at the tunnel listening to John Brown. DJ FaZe talked about John Brown at the tunnel. On the DXT, on the interview we had with Sway, John Brown in the tunnel. In anthropology, I'm about to say anthropology. But if I were back in college in a cultural anthropology class and I were sourcing information in an essay, they always want you to have at least 3 points of reference. The academic standard is 3 points of reference. If you want to flex, you do 5 points of references. So right there, first point of reference was the person who took the picture. Let's break this down the way we would in school, okay? I'm breaking this the same way my professors broke it down. Grand Mixer DST. First point of reference. You have.
So we just did this full.
The person that was there where the picture was taken. He was there where this particular picture was taken, calling these people the fathers of hip hop. He's breaking not only down how they're not the fathers of hip hop in this second generation, he's also saying there was a guy named John Brown at the tunnel. Point of reference number 1. Point of reference number 2. DJ FaZe, second person, who was there, who talks about the tunnel and John Brown influencing Herc. Reference point number 2. Now you get 2 references from the primary source. The person that they're saying is the godfather of hip hop is DJ Kool Herc. DJ Kool Herc, in his own words, in 2 different interviews on VH1, one on VH1, one on the Combat Jack show, tells the exact same story about he himself being at the tunnel, putting him there, time and place, and referencing a man named DJ John Brown. If I were in school right now, if I were back in Cal State Northridge, you know what they would tell me? My professor at Cal State Northridge would say, DeJuan, you know what? That was A-level research. You were not only able to, if I was in a debate, and when I was on the debate team, if I was on debate, they'd have been like, not only did you question the source, you used the source's own words to prove your point. And at that point, according to the academic standard, I win. Problem is, when it comes to hip hop, and not all, but too many times it ain't an academic standard. It's an emotional dumbass standard. You got to meet the emotional needs of people. Well, I feel this is how we're supposed to be. Fuck you and your feelings. This is about giving credit to those who deserve the credit. If you're so emotionally fragile that you need me to lie to make you feel good, guess what? I don't give a fuck about your feelings. As a matter of fact, now that I know you need me, you need my validations to make you feel good, I ain't giving you shit. I'm a bask in your anger. We as black people, we have to stand up. And I want to add in a point here. And I'm adding this point in because before I started I pushed my live back. I was going to start at 2. I pushed it back to 3 because I was watching Thought Crimes, and I didn't want to be on at the same time they were on. Because I was about to start and I saw they were on, so I tuned in to their show a little bit late. And so I want to go back and watch the whole show, but when I tuned in, if y'all listening, P Solo, and if y'all listening, I don't want to mess with y'all setup, okay? Because I came in late. But they were talking about the power of clowning and cracking jokes and comedy and how we are in such extremely sensitive times that people can't take when you got things to say in jest, and how we need that back. And I agree. And I've been saying that here for a long time also, how I believe in roasting and snapping when people are being disrespectful. You're not going to get me mad. These people can't piss me off, but they can make me real silly. And we as black Americans, we have that superpower. Can't nobody on earth roast like us. Nobody. You ever go roasting with these people? We crip rock circles around these niggas, don't we? Chat room, am I lying? Don't nobody, then they be like, no, that's how you know you lost the argument. You had to call me out my name. No, nigga, you lying. And if you lying, I don't respect your name enough to call you by it. That's how I see it. If you're lying to me, I do not have enough respect for you as a human, as a man, as a woman, to call you by your name. You haven't earned me calling you by your name because you're doing the worst thing you can do, and that's lie. In my opinion, the worst thing you could do, one of the most disrespectful things you can do to somebody is to lie to their face. And let's go further when it comes to John Brown. John Brown is one name. There's Grandmaster Flowers. There's Disco King Mario. And where did they get it from? I'm going to tell you where they got it from. DJ culture was born on the radio. Your New York DJs that had an MC were sounding like Jocko Henderson, Frankie Crocker. Your radio DJs were mixing and rapping and breaking beats up in between commercial breaks and songs. The park DJ culture stems from the radio DJ culture. Yeah, so make sure y'all hit that like button. Make sure y'all hit that like button. See, we got to understand that, like I started this show off with them talking about disco being from France. And when they say jazz comes from Creoles, we got to understand all of that is the same effort to disinherit us from our creations. Like how they over-influence what's a little light-skinned boy name? Jelly Roll Morton. If you notice, when they talk about jazz, they'll overemphasize Jelly Roll Morton. And Jelly Roll Morton was great. He played a major role in bringing New Orleans style jazz out to LA and Central Avenue. He had a motel where he pimped out of on the top floor and a jazz speakeasy on the bottom floor when he came out here to LA. Part of the reason why he came to LA is because he was run out of New York by James P. Johnson and Willie the Lion Smith on piano. Willie the Lion Smith used to call Jelly Roll Morton One Hand. It was the stories of James P. Johnson and Willie the Lion Smith battling Jelly Roll Morton in bars in New York and embarrassing Jelly Roll Morton to where Jelly Roll Morton had to leave New York and come to LA. But they don't tell you that part. Once Willie the Lion Smith and James P. Johnson came with stride, that knocked everything Jelly Roll Morton brought into jazz out, and it was on to something new. Because when it comes to our music, we're always on to something new. And disco has a lot, where jazz went, has a hell of a lot more to do with Willie the Lion and James P. Johnson than it does Jelly Roll Morton. Because that next generation, Fats Waller, Duke, those guys were more James P. Johnson than they were Jelly Roll Morton. But James P. Johnson and Willie the Lion Smith got written out of the history. And Jelly Roll Morton got pushed to the front because he's Creole. He light-skinned. Not Creole, he's white and black. Let's look at this and talk about, and Jelly Roll Morton did a lot of lying saying he invented jazz. He did lie, even though he got it from his shit from Buddy Bolden. But Jelly Roll Morton was like a light-skinned mulatto. He was a light-skinned mulatto. Now you ask yourself, why this is Jelly Roll Morton. This is Jelly Roll Morton. You ask yourself, why is he written into history, but James P. Johnson isn't? Take a look at their pictures. To the left is Jelly Roll Morton. To the right is James P. Johnson. If you know America, you ask yourself why one is remembered and one isn't. Even though the one on the right had far more influence according to the artist of the time than the one on the left. I remember when I did microphone check with Tariq. He couldn't get everything that I said because I said a whole lot. So he did a great job editing. But I do talk a lot. So I'm saying editing myself in my documentary. I'll be like, God damn, DeJuan, you talk a whole lot. Shit. I'm trying to edit my own words down now. That shit's tough. But you ask yourself, because in microphone check, Tariq asked me about Jelly Roll Morton and the Spanish tinge that he brought to jazz. And I said, that Spanish tinge was just a moment in time. That was just a moment in time. Here's the other person that had more influence than Jelly Roll Morton. You remember, they say Jelly Roll Morton's name. Here, this is Willie the Lion Smith. He's a little lighter than James P. Johnson, but he's still darker than Jelly Roll Morton. There's a story that goes, James P. Johnson was the baddest piano player in the land. Willie the Lion Smith was. Willie the Lion Smith on the right was the coldest motherfucker in the land. And he said he could beat anybody. But then he went up against James P. Johnson, who really was the coldest motherfucker. So this is what Willie the Lion Smith said. They had a battle, and James P. Johnson beat Willie the Lion Smith. And Willie the Lion Smith said, well, you probably the only person that's ever beat me in a piano battle. And you beat me in a piano battle, but if we went outside and fought, I could beat your ass in a fight. Willie the Lion Smith was a cold gangster motherfucker. You didn't fuck with Willie the Lion Smith. He was like, well, I might not be able to beat you in a piano battle, but I'll beat your ass in a fight. And it was Willie the Lion that called Jelly Roll Morton One Hand. Because when Jelly Roll Morton went up against Willie the Lion, He sent his ass back to LA. Well, he's not from LA. To LA from New York. Because Jelly Roll Morton couldn't fuck with Woody the Lion Smith. But Woody the Lion is written out of history. And Jelly Roll Morton stays in. And that's what's going on with hip hop right now. Whatever we can get that's not all 100% black. Jelly Roll Morton was still black. He still had black blood in him. But he had enough white blood for let's put the attention on Jelly Roll Morton. Because he's closer to us. Skin. Well, in this situation with hip hop, there's only one Eminem. Marky Mark don't want the title Vanilla Ice faded to the back. So you can't get a white person. You finally got Drake later on. But in the 90s, there were no Drakes. There were no Eminems. So you had to find the next best thing. Let's say these non-black Americans are the ones who did this. Let's do that. It's the same play. It's the same play. And the end result, and for all you niggas that be taking my content, stealing it, this is for y'all. If y'all gonna steal my shit, at least let people know and understand that the purpose of this shit is menticide. There is a 24-hour a day, and if you let them niggas know you don't know about menticide, you're gonna sound stupid. So don't. I dare you to try to sound like me. But the purpose is menticide. It's easier to fight a war against a people when you're not fighting an active war. You have them fighting that war amongst themselves in their own minds. As long as we feel down about ourselves, as long as we don't think we invented nothing, as long as we look at ourselves in a dusty way, and as long as the rest of the world sees that and agrees, they don't have to fight us. They only got to fight a confident people who know who they are. It is in the industry's best interest that black people not know. It's in the industry's best interest that we not know who we are. So by hook or by crook, you're going to push this lie. Because as long as we don't know who we are, we can continue to get fucked over. I got some super chats. Funk and jazz was the genesis for hip hop. We created it, right? Appreciate that, Willis. TB says, you're doing a great job, Dewan B, for all you Los Angeles dudes holding it down. Craig, Facts, Tariq, Zoe, keep doing your thing. I appreciate that. Yeah, when it comes to the LA podcast, y'all go right to them weird-ass gangster niggas. Yeah, that ain't LA. Them niggas come to us folks that's claiming to be real human beings. We the LA podcast, goddammit. Or I should say podcasts. We the real LA podcasts. Red Supreme, brothers like him, too. Down there in Long Beach. Add him to the mix. And if I missed you from LA, my bad. He said, O'Brien said, when the Caribbeans felt comfortable, the hip-hop origin narrative started to change. Right. That's a great point. That's a great point. Let me get these super chats because my shit been ringing. These cash apps. James, I appreciate the cash app. Dana hit me with the cash app yesterday. I appreciate that. Lloyd, I appreciate the cash app. Always I appreciate the cash app, Williams. Thank y'all. Thank y'all for that. But this is all part of the mental side of keeping this is how you keep people down. Mentally. Yeah, Red Supreme does have fire content. Yes, he does. But jazz is our shit. I'm gonna make a point now that I made yesterday on Twitter Space. Sonny on Twitter Space yesterday asked a good question. He asked, what grade would you give hip hop? What grade would you give hip hop? And out of the brothers that answered, we all kind of had the same answer. We give hip hop an A+ from its inception until 93, 94, 95. Till about the mid-90s, hip hop has an A. But from 96 on, it failed easily. Hip hop has failed. If you can only point out a Kendrick Lamar here, a Lupe Fiasco there, but the primary engines has been Lil Wayne and Drake and Nicki Minaj and Cardi B, and that's the norm. And Kendrick's the exception. Hip hop has most definitely failed post 96, but it's an A+ pre 96. But the reason why I give hip hop an overall C-, I give it an overall C-, and here's where the minus comes from. The vanguards, the gatekeepers, the quote-unquote greats of hip-hop don't defend hip-hop's culture. They don't defend the culture of hip-hop. And that's a problem. Name the hip-hop giant that stood up for the culture of Black America that created hip-hop. These niggas only say something when it affects themselves. Hip-hop is the most selfish genre of music we've ever created. Hip-hop is the spoiled brat still living in his mama's basement of Black American music. And I'm going to keep saying this until one of you hip-hop niggas have the nuts to step up and say something for Black American culture. The minute something comes up where somebody's trying to take our shit, oh man, the Mexicans, they cool. Oh no, man, the Jamaicans was there. Meanwhile, those of us who work regular, well, not me anymore. I got my businesses open now, so I ain't dependent upon a day job. But for those of us who are dependent, even though I'm not dependent upon a day job, I still got a heart for the brothers that are and the sisters that are. Because most brothers and sisters are dependent upon day jobs. And the same people y'all saying, oh no, they cool. When that black man, black woman go to work, they got to deal with them if they got a job. I was talking to my homeboy who worked for the LA Unified School District. He's a janitor. And he was talking to me the other night about transferring to the paint department. And he was like, man, I want to go to the paint department, but the Mexicans got that shit sold up. It's like, if you're not a Mexican, if you don't speak English, you may get a contract job to where, like, if they need extra help, they'll go to the janitorial staff and pick a black person to come help a certain major job. But as far as those good paying jobs within the paint department in the Los Angeles Unified School District, he was like, that's all Mexicans. That's a wrap. But you'll have these bum ass rappers, no man, everything is good. No, it's not all good. It's not all good. And if you're a Mexican listening to me and you think it is all good, and you know that's how your people treat black people at work, then I don't want you as a subscriber. You know that's fucked up. Right is right, wrong is wrong. A ball is a ball, a strike is strike. And if you Xing people out of money-paying positions because of the color of their skin, and you're doing it culturally, and nobody from your culture is saying anything, then fuck you. And fuck any nigga that goes along with it. Rappers, especially gangster rappers, are the biggest Uncle Tom. I don't want to use the word Uncle Tom. They're the biggest Sambos. Let me get it right. They're the biggest Sambos on the planet. Tough acting rappers that don't want to speak up for the culture. At least the Japanese Yakuza ain't gonna have you fuck with Japanese people. You fuck with a Chinese person, yeah, the Chinese mafia, they be fucking their people over. Them Chinese gangs, Home invasion robberies like a motherfucker. Them Chinese folks that be handling cash, they get robbed all the time by their gang members. They get beat up. They get snuffed. But can't nobody from the outside do it. Them same people that terrorize their own community, let somebody from outside of the community assault their community and see what happened. At least they gangsters protect their community. At least they get something out of it. Many artists from the 80s era don't properly defend the culture as far as origins. Right. They don't defend it. So, honestly, I don't give a fuck about none of these rappers. Honestly, I don't. You see, as much as I love Kendrick Lamar, and I love his music, I love everything he's doing, you ain't never gonna hear me call him our savior. Oh, he the one we gotta follow. No. He's still with the industry. He still stays silent on certain things. He's not because when it comes to the industry, you're not gonna get everything. I love Ice Cube. But Ice Cube, you know, he does everything he can do. I'm never going to talk against Ice Cube because he's done so much. Matter of fact, I want somebody else to speak up. Why Ice Cube got to be the only one to speak up? When Ice Cube did his plan for Black America and he saw how we revolted against them as a whole, just you trying to vote for Trump. I can understand why he'd back off because what niggas did to him back in 2019 and 2020 when all he said was, let's hold these people accountable. And he stood 10 toes down for black people. Black people didn't embrace Ice Cube when he did that. I ain't got no issues with Kendrick. None at all. But I still come short of holding any of these artists up the way I hold up Michael Jackson. The way I hold up Stevie Wonder. Stevie Wonder and Michael Jackson did some shit above and beyond board that no rapper has touched. No rapper has touched Stevie Wonder or Michael Jackson when it comes to standing up for black people. Or Prince. Not one. Nobody from hip hop. It was the light-skinned little motherfucker from Minnesota with his ass cheeks hanging out of his pants that did more for black society than any fucking rapper. The rappers stop when it comes to, oh man, he mean. No rappers fuck with Michael Jackson, Prince, or Stevie Wonder when it comes to what they've done socially for Black America. Not one. And it ain't close. Because when Stevie Wonder, Michael Jackson, let me add James Brown. When Stevie Wonder, James Brown, Aretha Franklin, Prince, Michael Jackson, when they got to the top of the top of the top, they used their social cachet and equity to stand 10 toes down for us. Aretha Franklin was always funding black stuff. Always. No, Cube did not sample with Tucker Carlson. Cube did what black people need to do. That's another thing I don't like. When people got mad at Cube for talking to Tucker Carlson. Like I saw like the Black Authority was mad that he talked to Tucker Carlson. That nigga just mad because he didn't talk to him. Just the fuck out of here, nigga. We need to be talking to everybody as black people. We need to be talking to everybody. Now, I do wish Cube would come online and talk to some more of us. But yeah, I would talk to Tucker Carlson. Like, nigga, black people stop. Black people this fake shit. What's the difference between talking to Tucker Carlson and talking to any of these white boys, to Aiden Ross? Or to any of these white media outlets, VH1, MTV. They all racist. Rachel Maddow. No, none of them fuck with us. None of them. Not a single one. Not even the niggas on mainstream TV. Not a one. They all are enemy. I did see the interview. Yeah, they had Cardi B interviewing the president. Yeah, that was some bullshit. Man, don't none of them white boys like us. And neither do the niggas that work for them. You're right. That's right, Antonio. Just because you talk to somebody don't mean, I said Antonio, Antoine Films. Just because you talk to somebody don't mean you agree. I can talk to people I don't agree with all day. I'm so against this whole cancel somebody because I don't agree with you bullshit. I'll talk to you. Especially if I run a motherfucking basketball league and I need your money. Yeah, I'll talk to you. Only thing I would change is I would talk to black people too. And that's one thing Michael Jackson never stopped and never forgot. Michael Jackson would still do interviews. Bill Bellamy was not famous when Michael Jackson interviewed him. Bill Bellamy was on MTV. But Michael Jackson at his top went to Bill Bellamy and he went to Arsenio. And he did the BET Awards at his top. Name the black person at the top right now going to black people who are just getting on and giving them a shot at an interview. Kendrick ain't even doing that. Kendrick, and I love Kendrick, but Kendrick ain't interviewing niggas. Kendrick he's interviewing with Al. He don't do too many interviews at all. Neither did Michael Jackson. Neither did Prince. But Prince will still interview with Tavis Smiley on public television. Prince. I'm talking about Prince. We're talking about Prince. We ain't talking about Prince. Prince would do interviews on public broadcasting network because there was a black man behind that couch. We don't even get that from Jay-Z nor Kendrick. Hip-hop is full of shit. I don't respect these niggas. I don't. As a whole. I respect people individually. But as a whole, when it comes to defending our culture, I don't respect these niggas. And if that means I don't get an interview with them, then fuck them too. I don't care. If somebody comes around like, man, I'm not going to interview with Dewan, man. He said he don't like us. Yeah, fuck you. Yeah, I said it because you going to go interview with that white boy. I guarantee you, let a white boy call you with some followers. Oh, you're going to be right there. Oh, yes, sir. Oh, yeah, I started doing music in 1975. Yep. Yes, sir. I was born in 75. I started rapping in 1990. That's what your ass going to do. I don't respect niggas like that. You'll go Adam, you'll go Vlad, won't you? And the reason, here's another reason why I don't respect it. At the top, Aretha, James Brown, Michael Jackson, Prince, Stevie Wonder, they fuck with black media. Hell, Aretha Franklin was still give Roland Martin interviews. I don't like Roland Martin, but shit, salute to Aretha Franklin for at least giving interviews to a black man. I'd rather have Roland Martin get the interview to some white boy that's going to talk about, and this isn't about being racist. The issue is when white people get our information, they're not responsible with it. That's the issue. You see the Tribe Called Quest documentary. They had Michael Rappaport do it. And what did Michael Rappaport do? He took a week-long argument between Phife and Q-Tip and changed the whole tone of that documentary to basically a fight between Phife and Q-Tip. And I didn't find out until like last year when I saw in a different interview that dispute that Q-Tip and Phife had lasted about a week and it was over with. Because when I saw the documentary was centered around a division between Fife and Q-Tip. So instead of us getting to the music, we talking about a goddamn dispute. That's how they are with our stories. Do you dumb niggas get that yet? That white lady that Tupac interviewed on MTV, she was a couple years, what's her name, that white lady on MTV that interviewed Tupac? She going around now saying, oh, Tupac was flirting with me. And I felt uneasy because he was a little rapey. Who was that white girl name? Y'all know who I'm talking about. Go watch that. And it was a great cartoon, but Tales from the Funk Bus. They got some, they did a good job getting some information. Yeah, Tabitha Soren. Thank you, Mark. Tabitha Soren was the girl. Go watch Tales from the Funk Bus. They spend more time talking about those artists' drug habits than their music. They talk about George Clinton's drug habits, Rick James's drug habits. It's like the whole goddamn cartoon documentary series about their drug habits. I don't give a fuck about their drug habits. All them motherfuckers on music is on drugs. If I get your story, I'm going to talk about the humanity within you. Your genius, your greatness, why we love you. I don't give a fuck about no drugs. But you'll go to a white boy, have an hour-long interview. Half their questions are going to be about drugs. You won't answer half of them. And the little you do, they're going to center that whole interview around your drugs. If you had a domestic violence case, if you peed on the sidewalk one day, that's what that whole article is going to be about. And you dumb niggas still keep going there. I don't respect these niggas. They like hoes. Just bent over you can run a train up these niggas' asses. The way they bend over for them folks, but don't fuck with us. Another reason why I don't respect it, you at the high level people like those that I said before, but then you got people like Wynton Marsalis in jazz. Hip hop is the only genre outside of Lord Jamar where the people that we created don't really stand up for it. The ones we don't really participate in some of our other forms of music, so it's less of a voice. I'm just gonna take for the forms of music that we still participate in. Salute to Wynton Marsalis. Wynton Marsalis was the first trumpet player during the 20th century that wasn't picked by the jazz community. He was one picked by the white people. They picked him. You know, it was Louis Armstrong that gave it up and let the world know that Dizzy was next. Dizzy gave it up to Miles Davis. Miles Davis passed it on down when he didn't pass it down to Wynton. The mainstream chose Wynton. But even with the mainstream choosing Wynton Marsalis stands 10 toes down for Black American creation of jazz. I would not have the level of understanding of Black people owning jazz if it weren't for Wynton Marsalis. Wynton Marsalis didn't get chosen by the mainstream and sell out and be like, oh yeah, white people, yes, this is a white people's form. If he was a rapper, he'll be like, oh yeah, this is a white people's form of music. The King of Swing is Benny Goodman. And Wynton Marsalis didn't do that. You go back to the earliest documentaries Wynton Marsalis is in, he's 10 toes down. This is a Black form of music. This is a Black form of music. This is Black. And he's somebody that the white folks chose and like. He still stood 10 toes down for us. And it was a lot of his work in the late 90s and in the 2000s that really got me focused in the right direction on who to look for when it came to great jazz artists of the 1940s, 30s, 20s, and teens. It was Wynton Marsalis. He said, there's something bigger than me. I got to speak up for my culture. So him having the balls to speak up for his culture is the reason why, even though throughout the 70s and the 80s, they really tried to whiten up. In the 90s, they really tried to make us focus on jazz being a white form of music, it was Wynton Marsalis that stood up and said, no, this is black music. Thank you, Wynton Marsalis, for your courage. And I'm looking for a rapper not named Lord Jamar. Thank you, Lord Jamar, for your courage. I know they mad at you because that's nothing when it comes to black folks. And this is why, let me make this other point. This is why I can't get too mad at people for not stepping up. Because niggas ain't shit. Lord Jamar believes in flat earth. And he goes back, he originally canceled Vlad for not apologizing to Farrakhan. Vlad apologized to Farrakhan. That was Lord Jamar's request for Vlad. I'm not in this shit. I still don't give a fuck about Vlad, and I'll never watch him. But Lord Jamar got his request answered. And now, out of all the 10 toes down, Lord Jamar stood with us. Everybody's willing to cancel him because he sat back down with Vlad. Ice Cube wrote Cave Bitch, Lethal Injection, The Predator, America's Most Wanted. He gave us Friday. He gave us Barbershop. Never made us look bad on film. Black people say we need our own basketball league. Boom, Cube went and got one. Dr. Claude Anderson said black people need to stop choosing a political party and choose an agenda and present that agenda to both parties. Dr. Claude Anderson said that 30 years ago. And the same people that say they love Dr. Claude Anderson will get mad at Ice Cube because he went and talked to Trump. Because he sat down with Tucker Carlson. And all that shit Ice Cube did, you niggas is ready to throw him under the bus. Do Ice Cube say some things I don't like? Yeah. That shit he said about, the immigration shit, I didn't agree with it. But I'm not going to throw that man out after all that shit he did for us because of his stance on that. You got to be a stupid motherfucker to do something like that. And there's a lot of stupid ass niggas out here. So part of the reason a lot of black folks don't step up is because then when you do step up for black people, niggas want to turn you into their savior. And you got to be infallible and perfect. And this is where I question us. I'm done chastising the rappers. Now it's time to come to us as a people. Like Ice Cube said in the song Us. We got to check ourselves. Are you the kind of nigga that throw a black person out because he makes 2 or 3 moves that you don't like? Can you be mature enough to see someone fighting for us, but make a couple other moves that I don't like that move? But you got to ask yourself a question. Does that move hurt us? Does Ice Cube saying that he disagrees with how ICE is moving, does that hurt us? No, it doesn't. May not like it, may not agree with it, but it don't hurt us. Does Lord Jamar sitting down with DJ Vlad hurt us? No, because it's a million other niggas sitting down with DJ Vlad. And we still have the power to say, fuck you, Vlad. The power's with us, not with Lord Jamar. How you throw that man out because he think the earth is... So what if he think the earth is flat? I don't give a fuck. I don't think the earth is flat. Hell no, I don't think the earth is flat. I think this shit round like a motherfucker. And when our brother Lord Jamar gets talking about flat earth, I have the option of changing the channel. Are you talking about flat earth? All right, cool. Let me go ahead and click on Carcino's page now. Oh, shit. I'm going to go ahead and click on 5150 now. I ain't with that flat earth shit, but I said love the brother. When the fuck is we going to grow up? And know that there are no perfect messengers, only perfect messages for those willing to pick up the game. See, the thing is, I came up with that quote because you got to be willing to pick up the game. And if you're willing to pick up the game, who gives a fuck if somebody says 2 or 3 things you don't agree with? Does it hurt you? Now, When you're dealing with a Jay-Z, on the other hand, who consistently harms us as a community, first harm, you make a whole bunch of fuckboy, I got more money than you, I'm better than you music because I make more money than you, and I sold drugs to make that money, and because of that I'm better than you. All right, cool, that's your music. Then you come over to Def Jam and you sit on and you fuck that up. All right, cool. You fucked that up as president. You did LL Cool J wrong. You fucked him over. All right, cool. Then you go to Brooklyn and you use your influence to make a move that had been, I'm a basketball fan. The New Jersey Nets have been trying to move to Brooklyn since the 90s. It was a no-go since the 90s. You use your influence to gentrify your own neighborhood. That's another strike. Now I'm looking at, goddamn nigga, how many, in baseball you only get 3 strikes. And then the next step, you go around and you turn around and you tell, oh yeah, don't mess with the NFL. Nah, we not doing that no more. Tell Jermaine Dupri, don't take the halftime show. Next year, just only to take that job the next year. And then say we done, go to Colin Kaepernick, oh yeah, we done kneeling. Jay-Z got a long streak. Puffy got a long streak of fucking over niggas. I watch people get fucked over. Do Cube got a streak of fucking over people? Nope. Now, Chris Tucker was mad that he wasn't going to get millions for Friday Part 2, so he left. So, fine. Okay, the movie studio didn't want to pay you $10 million for the movie. Great. That's not fucking somebody over. That's just not having somebody in the budget. Diddy got a long laundry list of fucking niggas over. And these niggas are all joined at the hip with a white boy like Leor Cohen, Clive Davis. You got to watch any nigga joined at the hip with Clive Davis and Lucien Grange. I've been talking about Lucien for 2 years now. 2 years now. I see Candace Owens is just now picking up on Lucien Grange. I've been talking about him on this channel for over 2 years. It's like the black people who do right by us 90% of the time get all the way fucked over when we do something that they don't like, or that we don't like 10% of the time. And the niggas that's fucking us over 90% of the time, they get to live scot-free because 10% of the time they donated a turkey or they bailed somebody out of jail. We got this shit fucked up. We idolize people that continually fucks us over. Open the door for people like Drake. Open the door for Lil Wayne. Open the door for the bullshit. And then be like, they all right. They all right. Let a black person try to help you out. They make one mistake. Them niggas is canceled. That's where we as a people got to step up and stop being so goddamn stupid. Yeah, 50 Cent ain't shit. Yeah, 50 Cent ain't shit. Somebody said, how often do whites, Hispanics, and Asians say anything that harms their community? All the time. First off, you don't even know Hispanics and Asians' languages. And second of all, nobody pays attention to Hispanics and Asians. They say I'll tell you this though, I know all the Mexicans that I know, they talk all kind of shit against their people. Mexicans will tell you real fast, mainstream Mexicans ain't for them. They don't fuck. Hispanics don't really fuck with J-Lo like that. They know J-Lo ain't shit. Them the Hispanics you see on the news, real down home Hispanics don't fuck with them. They selling them motherfuckers out all the time. First off. Second off, they're not in the same position we are in. Look at what happened with the Dixie Chicks. I'll give you an example. The Dixie Chicks was everything white folks loved. But when 9/11 happened and they spoke out against Bush, the white community canceled the Dixie Chicks. And we as black people, we're not led by other people. We lead ourselves. We are the influence. We are the culture. We got to know that whoever's in our shit is not perfect. No, ain't nobody perfect. Politicians, look at white folks is canceling Trump now because of the Epstein files, and because they're literally canceling Trump right now. The ones who was down, died in the war with Trump the last 10 years because of what he said about the Epstein files. Happening right now in front of our face. Okay? Gotta pay attention. Gotta pay attention. But if a black person does something to harm us, yes, canceling them. Lord Jamar going to interview with Vlad does not harm us. If you think Lord Jamar interviewing with Vlad harms us, you have a very low opinion of black people. That's all I gotta say. You must really think we weak as fuck if you think that harms us. If you think Tucker Carlson going on Fox News, Ice Cube going to interview with Tucker Carlson so he can sell some big 3 seats harms us, then you have a very low opinion of us. Muhammad Ali would sit down with racist white folks all the time. What's up, said in the West? Yeah, hip hop is the West. When they took all that East Coast shit about hip hop. Yeah, y'all had a couple little parties out there. That's cool. Your little party's cool. But we developed that shit out here. Before NWA. Before NWA. So the question is, are black people ready for the kind of people that we need out there? And for you hip hoppers, when and one of y'all gonna have the nuts to step up and find out? So did Ice Cube. Ice Cube G-checked Bill Maher. When Bill Maher said the N-word, Ice Cube was already booked for that episode of Bill Maher, and it had nothing to do with him saying the N-word. He was booked months out. Ice Cube still took the opportunity to tell Bill Maher on his own show that ain't cool. You said I need to check out Turk's new album? All right, I will. And this is nothing you get. Hip hop started in the Bronx. I'm gonna tell you something else. Had that loud shit that y'all was playing in the Bronx stayed like the Bronx, hip hop would have stayed in the Bronx, and it would have been a long foregone genre of music like Boogaloo. You ever heard of Boogaloo? It's the reason why Boogaloo's still not around, because Boogaloo didn't evolve. Yeah. I want everybody here to say, anytime somebody overemphasize the Bronx, be like, yeah, cool. But it left the Bronx and grew legs and left that shit and took on and grew in other parts of America because it's Black American culture. Thank God hip hop left the Bronx and went to Queens and to Philadelphia and to Los Angeles and Oakland and Atlanta. Had hip hop not grew legs and grew each one of those cities, hip hop would be a dead genre. Just like most black genres we create. So tell these niggas that. If hip-hop didn't lead the Bronx, at best, it would be go-go. At best. So y'all can talk all that Bronx bullshit you want. If it weren't for the West Coast, nigga, hip-hop would be go-go. Only niggas in New York would like it. Go-go stayed D.C. because go-go never left D.C. And that's fine. If I go to D.C., I fuck with a go-go. I can't do too much. That shit be loud as fuck. I fuck with about an hour and a half of a go-go club in D.C. But go-go stayed a regional sound because other regions didn't pick up on it. Hip-hop better thank L.A. Hip-hop better thank Oakland. Hip-hop better thank Philadelphia. You better thank a union member. Niggas always want to go back to hip-hop started out in the Bronx. Well, who the fuck from the Bronx is representing hip-hop now? And I don't mean a nigga in their 50s. Who from the Bronx in their 20s is representing hip-hop now? I'll wait. Who from the Bronx in their 30s is representing hip-hop right now? I'll wait. Thank God for jazz, man. Jazz on everybody like, jazz started in New York, it started in New Orleans. Yeah. Oh, jazz listeners, can y'all imagine how annoying it'll be? And I'm doing a class on jazz starting September. A 4-part series on jazz. Hey, jazz lovers, imagine this song coming on and then you hearing... Man, jazz came from New Orleans. You'd be like, will you shut the fuck up? Can you imagine that? Jesus. Can you imagine jazz listeners? You know what I mean? You sit, you over there. You minding your business, you know what I mean? Listening to your music. You know what I mean? This shit come on. You chilling. Yo, man, now you wouldn't be listening to that if it came from, because it came from New Orleans. If it weren't from New Orleans, you wouldn't be listening to. You'd be ready to slap the dog shit out that person, wouldn't you? God damn. Nigga, you be listening to Funkadelic. Tether the off, we gonna tether off the mother sucker. Tether off the sucker. And then here comes some dickhead. The first jazz song was recorded in Cincinnati. James Brown, King Records was in Cincinnati. That's our music. Wouldn't you be ready to slap the dog shit out that person? Yes, history does matter. And if you stupid ass Bronx people would acknowledge the history of where you got it from, okay, history does matter. Well, why don't you show the history of where you sampling? Hip hop don't have its own music. If you want to go history, okay, what records you rapping over there? Talk the history of that. That didn't come from no goddamn Bronx. DJing didn't come from Bronx. Graffiti didn't come from the Bronx. Rapping didn't come from the Bronx. None of that came from the Bronx. So if you're going to talk history, talk about the history of all that shit that you jacked from the rest of America. Where that came from. Or just shut the fuck up and enjoy the music. Right. Hip hop was built on thieving. Can you imagine somebody going around robbing this person's house? I'm gonna rob this house. I'm gonna take your TV. I'm gonna rob that house. I'm gonna take your bedroom dressing center. I'm gonna go rob this house. I'm gonna take your clothes out this house. I'm gonna rob this house of his shoes. I'm gonna rob this house of all of his electronics and keyboards. I'm gonna rob this house, and then I'm gonna put it all in together that's in all these other houses, and I'm gonna say, you need to celebrate me because I started some new shit. Well, what about the 15 niggas you robbed to get it? Grow up, hip hop. You 52 years old now. Hip hop got great chin hairs. You got people who are originators of hip hop that are dying of old age. Grow up. Hip hop is not a young man's game anymore. The goddamn clips have proven that. Them 50-year-old niggas is rapping their ass off. Hip hop is not it's not a young man's game anymore. Somebody said go-go is so special nobody can steal it. Nah, that's not necessarily true. Go-go is a very easy form of music to play. Go-go is just a loud-ass version of funk that the rest of us be like, all right, y'all have it. I love Chuck Brown. I do. But after a while, go-go gets so goddamn loud, niggas be like, all right, DC niggas, y'all got it. Yeah, play it. Go ahead. I've had about 20 minutes of go-go. My ears are fucking bleeding. Let me listen to something else. That's for you. And I ain't got an issue with go-go. It just, that's just, hey, come on now. But yeah, that's all I wanted to say about this. Every year they have for every year hip hop, XL, DX, and all these different publications want to go around and say this is hip hop's birthday. This is our job to counter that narrative with more and more information. Somebody had you. Hey, first off, stop typing in all caps. You screaming. And yes, I have been to DC. And yes, I have been to go-go clubs. Hey, Harold Leroy, did you know I've actually played the drums in the studio for some go-go music here in LA? Because a lot of music is still recorded in LA. 20 years ago, I had to do a go-go track for some band. I don't even know the name of the band no more. But I was assigned to play a go-go track. I've actually played it in the studio and gotten paid to do it. And I played go-go live. I played in go-go bands live. I know what the fuck I'm talking about. See, niggas be thinking just because you from LA, oh, you way on the other side, man. You don't know about what's going on down south. You don't know what's going on the East Coast. Nigga, I'm a drummer. All you niggas come to LA. All y'all. Your favorite artist, your favorite producer, your favorite band, your favorite anybody in music comes here for everything. And when I did play, I was dope as fuck. I traveled the country playing. It wasn't just here. All over the goddamn country playing music. Have you ever played a live set in Rocky Mount, North Carolina at a juke joint at 11 p.m.? Have you? I have. Music is taking me from Ohio to Rocky Mount, nigga. Not you, Rocky. He said hip hop is past its midlife crisis. It's existential now. Yeah. Yeah. Miles Davis did not have one drummer. Miles Davis handpicked all of his drummers. Harold, you don't know enough about music to be debating with me, my brother. You just need to calm down and listen, all right? Miles Davis had 3 different drummers on just his Kind of Blue album. There have been hundreds of drummers that play with Miles Davis. That's what music is. For this song, you need that flavor on this flavor on the song. For the next song, you need a different flavor. So you hire different drummers. Some of the greatest drummers on earth are not fit to do certain songs because music is about flavor. And sometimes a song requires a particular flavor that this drummer offers that drummer doesn't. It isn't because they're from a region. It's because, no, they have a flavor that I like for this particular project. Yeah, that's all it is, John. That's all DJ Herc did. DJ Herc just threw a party. One of many. Cold part about it was it wasn't even the own party. It was just one of them. That nigga said, oh, he was Miles Davis's drummer. He was his last drummer. So what? Miles Davis's primary drummer was Tony Williams. But Tony Williams died at the age of 53. Miles Davis picked Tony Williams when he was 16. And Tony Williams is from Chicago. Miles Davis put Tony Williams on in the 60s when Tony Williams was only a teenager. That's a good point. He said DJ says that it's not even the East Coast, West Coast thing. It's just a few salty people that won't shut up trying to start regional music. Right. Right. New Yorkers, y'all niggas is corny as fuck. You Bronx, it started in the Bronx. Yes, and hip hop would have stayed there if you niggas was like, others come around when they need some money. If that's how rap still started, if that's how rap still started, I went down to the store, went to a motherfucker and he hit the door. Rap would have stayed in 1982 if it still sounded like that. Thank God for Rakim for changing the beat. If it was still a Bronx thing, niggas like, yeah, sucker fool. I'm from the new school, yeah. Thank God hip hop evolved from that. Thank God. Thank you. Got a car. Now I'm far. Now I'm dead. No, yeah. Thank God hip hop. Thank God hip hop for leaving the Bronx. Niggas said peeing in the hallway started in the Bronx too. Broken glass everywhere. And that was good music for the time. And I ain't dissing it. The Message was one of the greatest songs ever written. Broken glass everywhere. I need some gel for my hair. That was great for 1982. But if rap still sounded like that, we wouldn't know no goddamn rap music. Niggas would be playing niggas would be playing something else. Thank God for evolution. It always evolves, man. Our music always evolves. Like, When funk started out, this is how it sounded. That's how funk started out. You know, horns, bass, keys, drums. And then it evolved. And when Parliament got to it, they added a big choir sound with the background singers, the doo-wop sound. They added about 10 more musicians. They added a few more guitars. They added the move. It evolved. It grew. It grew. That's why funk people don't be like, well, it started right here. No, because James Brown gave it a little bit of this. Sly and the Family Stone gave it a little bit of that. War gave it a little bit of this. Confunction gave it a little bit of that. And that's how we get the genre. Everybody give it a little bit of this, a little bit of that. War gave it a little bit of this. I remember you when you drank my... And Rick James gave it a little bit of that. He came from Buffalo with that sound. So you hip-hop niggas, to anybody who understands music, y'all sound dumb as fuck. It came from the Bronx. You know that. Well, where did the Bronx get it from? Then y'all be like, oh, no. Can't tell the show. Oh, came from the Bronx? Okay, where did Kool Herc get it from? I can't tell you that. Well, where does DJ culture come from? I'm not going to tell you that. I mix to my own beat. Well, okay. Okay, all right, cool. Well, what about graffiti? The first graffiti was in New York. We're not going to tell you that either. Graffiti started here in New York on the subway. Well, what about Philadelphia and cornbread? I never heard of cornbread. He ain't from New York. You be like, okay, all right, cool. All right, cool. What about the sound system thing that y'all say came from Jamaica? Kool Herc didn't bring a sound system from Jamaica. He said it. Well, the sound system still came from New York. Well, they were still on those same sound systems in Philadelphia, Los Angeles, Cleveland, Detroit. Yeah, but ours is the only one that you listen to. Yeah. All right. You win. You win. Yeah, because the Bronx did everything. Well, what about, is Rakim from the Bronx? No, he's not. But because of the Bronx, we still claim Rakim. You niggas got either really fragile egos or really small Johnsons. Which one is it? Because this shit is throwing me off now. Well, what kind of music was Kool Herc spinning? Don't ask that kind of question. He was spinning music that we like. All right, nigga. Y'all just gonna X out. Yeah, somebody mentioned the Ohio players. Y'all just gonna X out there. How much sound they gave you. Like, what would hip hop be without Junie Morrison, Ohio players?
She's here, Mr. Johnson.
Okay, thank you very much.
And the Funky Worm. Well, we use the funky worm to flow over, so it's still from New York. All right, nigga. You win. You win. Every other form of music is totally okay with saying, hey, we're funk, we're Black American, we're disco, we're Black American, we're jazz, we're Black American, we're boogaloo, we're Black American, we're R&B, we're Black American, we are country, we are blues music, we're Black American, we're hip hop, we from the Bronx. What? Huh? Okay. You win. But thank y'all again for listening, man. I had a good time with y'all. Make sure y'all share this. Make sure when the video's over with, please go and make a comment on the video in the comments as soon as I'm done. Because YouTube fucking with me in the algorithm for real. So make sure y'all leave a comment on the video when we're done. And I got my jazz class, History of Jazz, coming up real soon. Where we really break down to get really intricate. We're going to get very, very deep on jazz in my next class. Then after my jazz class, you're going to probably do one on funk. All right? Thank y'all again for listening. We out.